Be me, 34F, senior HR specialist at a tech firm. Got into HR because I genuinely wanted to fix the corporate culture from the inside. Tired of the tech bro narrative? It's 2024 at the time, and our diversity stats are still abysmal. We hover around 18% female in technical roles. Leadership posts the same "we are listening" update every quarter. Nothing changes. I'm convinced it's unconscious bias. It has to be. Hiring managers are mostly men. They hire people who look like them, talk like them, play the same video games. It's a self-perpetuating cycle of mediocrity disguised as culture fit. The engineering department is the problem. It's the programmer cliché come to life. 140 engineers, 128 men, 12 women. Every time I walk onto the dev floor, the air changes. It's quiet, but in an aggressive way. Silence broken only by the clacking of mechanical keyboards. They have these inside jokes I don't get. Slack channels locked down so HR can't see them. I know they're talking about me or my team in there. I try to organize culture building events. Mandatory team lunches, empathy workshops, diversity mixes. They show up because they have to. Stand in the corners holding their pizza slices like they're shielding them from a predator. Don't talk to anyone outside their little cliques. Stare at their shoes when I ask them about their weekends. It's frustrating. I view my job as more than just payroll and benefits. I'm here to fix the culture. To make it inclusive. To break up the boys' club. Last quarter, the CEO pulled me into his office. "Stella, we have a problem with our diversity metrics." "Of course we do, Sherlock. Investors are asking questions. We look bad compared to our competitors. We need to hit 40% female representation in engineering by next year." I tell him it's a pipeline issue. I tell him the interview process is biased. He nods, doesn't care about the details, just wants the numbers. "Fix it. You have the budget." This is my moment. I go back to my desk, mind racing. The problem isn't just sourcing. We get female applicants. We get plenty. But they die in the technical interviews. Our senior engineers conduct the technical screenings. They claim the candidates aren't technical enough or failed the whiteboard test. I know what that really means. It means didn't laugh at my obscure Linux joke. It means didn't go to the same nerdy college as me. Unconscious bias is rotting this company from the inside out. I decide to go nuclear. I'm going to remove the human element entirely, build an automated hiring system, project equity, an AI that screens resumes, conducts initial code tests, and ranks candidates based purely on potential and aptitude, sans the biased markers. No names, no photos, no university names. Since Stanford bros hire Stanford bros, no graduation dates to prevent ageism, just pure unadulterated skill and psychological fit. I pitch it to the CTO. He's this exhausted-looking guy named David. Looks like he hasn't slept since 2014. He sighs, rubs his temples. "Stella, hiring is complex. An algorithm might struggle with nuance." I cut him off. "Humans struggle with nuance, David. Humans are biased. Algorithms are pure math. If we feed it the right data, it will give us fair results." He resists. I drop the investor pressure card. He folds immediately. "Fine. I'll give you 2 of my data scientists to help you build it. Just don't break production." I get assigned 2 junior devs, Ben and Jacob. Nicest guys on the floor, actually. Terrified of me. I explain the vision. We are building a blind recruitment engine. It needs to analyze thousands of successful developer profiles, identify the core traits that make them good, but strip out the gendered identifiers. Ben raises his hand. "But Stella, if we train it on our current top performers, won't it just learn to hire people like them?" Smart kid, but I'm ahead of him. Exactly why we need to clean the data first, Ben. We define the parameters of success not just by code output, but by collaboration, communication, and adaptability. We mask the resumes. We tell the AI that specific bro keywords are neutral or negative. We spend 3 months building this thing. I'm in the Jira tickets every day, writing user stories. As a candidate, I want to be judged on my ability, not my gender. I make them implement a sentiment analysis module. It reads cover letters to detect growth mindset wording versus arrogant wording. I assume men use more arrogant language. This will naturally filter out the toxic masculinity. We also buy a data set of resumes from across the industry. High-performing women in tech. I force-feed this data into the model. "Look," I tell the AI, "metaphorically, this is what good looks like." We name the AI Athena. Goddess of wisdom. It feels poetic. Launch day approaches. I'm buzzing with adrenaline. I've hyped this up to the board. The future of equitable hiring, removing the gatekeepers. David is skeptical but stays out of my way. We turn Athena on for the Q3 hiring spree. We have 20 open positions for senior back-end engineers. Usually, we'd get 500 applicants. HR would screen 100, engineers would interview 40, we'd hire 5. Slow, painful, biased. Athena ingests 2,500 applications in 24 hours. I watch the dashboard. It's beautiful. She's passing skills, analyzing GitHub repos, anonymized, reading cover letters for emotional intelligence benchmarks. I have a bottle of champagne in my desk drawer. Me and my assistant Jenny are watching the progress bar. Athena is set to shortlist the top 50 candidates for final behavioral interviews. I've instructed the system that the final cohort must be merit-based, but because I removed the bias, I'm expecting at least a 50-50 split, maybe even 60-40 women because, frankly, women try harder in cover letters. The progress bar hits 100%. The list generates only ID numbers at first. Candidate 4921. Candidate 8832. Okay, I say, hands trembling slightly. Let's unmask them. Jenny hits the button. The spreadsheet populates names and demographics. I scan the list. James, Michael, David, Christopher, Joshua, Daniel. Scroll down. Kevin, Brian, Matthew, Andrew, Ryan. Scroll down. Stephen, Thomas, William, Justin. My heart drops into my stomach. I scroll to the very bottom. 50 names, 50 men. Absolute silence in my office. Jenny looks at me. Is it broken? It has to be. I snap. There's a bug. I call Ben and Jacob immediately. You guys messed up the weighting. They come running, looking panicked. They look at the code. No. Stella, look. The weights are exactly what you approved. Empathy score is weighted 20%. Collaboration history is 15%. Raw coding ability is 40%. Then why did it hire a frat house? Ben starts typing furiously, digging into the logs. Well, look at the empathy scores. He points to the screen. The men who were selected scored weirdly high on the empathy sentiment analysis. I grab one of the cover letters. Candidate 12, Michael. It reads, I believe software development is fundamentally an act of service to the user. I strive to understand the pain points of the customer and alleviate them through clean, efficient architecture. It sounds perfect. It sounds like what I told the AI to look for. See? Ben says. He used words like service, understand, alleviate. The AI rated him 99 out of 100 on empathy. He's gaming it, I say. He knows the buzzwords. The AI can't know that, Jacob says gently. It just sees the pattern. I'm fuming. Scrap this batch. We can't present a 100% male shortlist to the CEO. He'll laugh me out of the room. I tell them to tweak the algorithm. Lower the weight of technical skills, I command. But Stella, these are senior back-end roles, Ben says. They need to know C++. I know that, Ben. But we can teach syntax. We can't teach attitude. Lower technical weight to 25%. Raise community engagement and soft skills to 40%. I figure women do more volunteering, more mentorship. This will balance the scales. We rerun the dataset. Takes another 6 hours. I stay late, ordering Thai food at my desk, staring at the progress bar like it's a bomb timer. It finishes at 9 p.m. I unmask the new top 50. I hold my breath. Top result, Alexander. Second result, Nicholas. Third result, Jacob. I slam my hand on the desk. I look through the list. 48 men, 2 women. Better, but statistically impossible. How is this happening? I look at the profiles of the 2 women. Candidate 44 is a recent grad from a boot camp. Candidate 49 is an internal transfer request I missed. I look at the men. Why are they scoring so high on community engagement? I click on Alexander's profile. Under interest/volunteering. Moderator for Stack Overflow. Top 1% contributor. Maintains 3 open source libraries used by nonprofits. The AI counted open source maintenance as community service. Technically, it is, but it's nerd community service. It's not the soup kitchen work I was imagining, it's just more coding. The AI sees volunteer time 20 hours a week and gives them a massive score. These guys aren't empathetic social workers. They are obsessed. They have no lives. They code at work, they code at home, they code for charity, and the AI loves them for it. I feel a headache forming behind my eyes. This tool was supposed to prove that women are being kept out by bias. Instead, it's suggesting that on paper, based on the metrics I defined as valuable, these obsessive weirdos are the perfect employees. I can't accept that. The system must be flawed. I call a meeting with the senior data scientist the next morning. Dr. Matt. He's a genius, very quiet, very serious. I explain the situation. Athena has a male bias. We need to perform a lobotomy. He looks at me over his glasses. The model optimizes for the target variable Stella. What is the target variable? Employee success, retention, performance reviews. And historically, who has the highest performance reviews here? The men, I admit. But that's because the managers are men. That's the bias. So we removed the manager's input, Matt says, and used raw output metrics. Lines of code, bug fix rates, system uptime stability. Yes. And the model found that people who write code 16 hours a day produce more stable systems. But that's unhealthy, I argue. We don't want to encourage burnout. We want work-life balance. Did you tell the AI to penalize workaholism? I pause. I didn't. I assumed well-rounded candidates would naturally rise. But in a blind contest of who produced the most value, the people who have zero work-life balance are crushing everyone else. And it turns out, the demographic most willing to sacrifice their entire social life to argue about syntax on a Saturday night is predominantly male. Fix it, I tell Matt. Penalize the obsession. Cap the output metric. Make it so that after a certain point, extra coding experience yields diminishing returns. Force the AI to value, I don't know, creative writing, liberal arts backgrounds. You want to hire back-end engineers based on their minor in English? I want diversity of thought, Matt. Diversity of thought. He shrugs. It's your parameters. We spend 2 weeks retooling Athena. I made the criteria so convoluted. If you have a CS degree, you get 10 points. If you have a non-traditional background, you get 15 points. Advantage bootcamps / career switches. If you have gaps in your resume, you get a resilience bonus. Advantage mothers returning to work. If you use aggressive language in your cover letter, you get flagged. I am essentially handcrafting a filter to find women without explicitly saying find women. We run the third batch, the Frankenstein run. List generates. Top 50, I unmask. 30 men, 20 women. Yes, I literally cheer in the office. Jenny high-fives me. I look at the women's profiles. Diverse, interesting backgrounds, great soft skill scores. I feel vindicated. See? The talent was there. We just had to stop measuring them by the male standard of obsessive coding. I send the shortlist to the hiring managers. I attach a memo. These candidates have been vetted by Athena v1.0. They represent the highest potential for long-term value add to the company. Interviews are a formality to confirm cultural fit. I sit back and wait for the praise. 1 week later, disaster strikes. The engineering leads start conducting the interviews. My inbox explodes. Manager 1. Stella, is this a joke? Candidate 4 doesn't know what a pointer is. Manager 2. Candidate 12 is a nice person, but she tried to write a database query in pseudocode on the whiteboard. This is a senior role. Manager 3. I asked candidate 25 about her GitHub projects. She admitted she hasn't coded in 6 months because she's focusing on her pottery Etsy store, which the AI apparently counted as entrepreneurial spirit. I go into defense mode. You're being gatekeepers. I reply to the Slack thread. Pottery shows attention to detail. Pseudocode shows high-level architectural thinking. The CTO, David, comes to my desk. He looks furious, actual color in his cheeks for once. Stella, we cannot hire these people. You're just rejecting them because they aren't mini-me's of you, David. No, Stella. I'm rejecting them because our server architecture processes 50,000 requests a second, and if someone pushes bad code, we lose millions of dollars. I don't care about their pottery. They can learn. For a junior role, sure. These are senior roles paying $180K. We don't have time to teach them the basics. He overrides me. He scraps my list. He goes back to the old method, hiring from his network, asking for referrals. I am seething. I feel like I've been sabotaged. I decide to prove him wrong. I keep running Athena in the background. I tell her, find me the women who can code like the men. I strip away all the diversity bonus points. I go back to raw skill, but I add a constraint, identify female syntax patterns. I don't even know if that exists, but I'm grasping at straws. Athena churns for days. She comes back with a list of 5 candidates, 5 women, unicorns, perfect scores, technical beasts, empathetic, leaders. I look them up. Candidate 1 works at EY, salary $450K. We can't afford her. Candidate 2. CTO of her own startup, won't join us. Candidate 3, living in Switzerland, doesn't want to relocate. Candidate 4, retired at 35 after Bitcoin windfall. Candidate 5, actually a guy named Ashley from UK. Despair sets in. The reality hits me. The women who are that good are already taken. They are the most sought-after asset in the industry. Every company wants them. We are a mid-tier SaaS company. We get the leftovers. And the leftovers of the male demographic include the socially awkward, obsessive, unwashed geniuses who can code for 12 hours straight but can't make eye contact. The leftovers of the female demographic are normal people with healthy boundaries who aren't willing to grind that hard for a mid-tier salary. My bias against the men was actually a bias against people who have no life outside of code, and unfortunately that trait is highly correlated with keeping our servers running. I refuse to give up. I double down. I tell the CEO that the engineering team is being obstructionist. They are rejecting qualified candidates to protect their culture. I lie. Or maybe I believe it. Hard to tell anymore. CEO is nervous about the numbers. Okay, Stella. Fossai 3 of them. We'll do a pilot program. If they succeed, David has to shut up. I picked the 3 best from my holistic list. 3 women. Cassie, bootcamp grad, former teacher, great communication. Maria, returning to workforce, solid PM skills. Sam, degree in art history, self-taught Python. I bypass the technical screen. I give them offers. They accept. I place them on the most critical teams. Integration is key, I say. I organize a welcome lunch. The male engineers sit there, silent, eating their burritos. I glare at them. Be nice, my eyes say. Day 1 goes okay. Day 5, I see Cassie crying in the bathroom. I rush in. What happened? Did someone say something? I'm ready to fire someone. No, she sobs. I don't know what they're talking about. They speak in acronyms. I asked for help and they sent me a link to documentation that's 500 pages long. They expect me to read it by tomorrow. They're setting you up to fail, I soothe her. I'll handle it. I march to her heavy-set lead. Kevin, you need to mentor Cassie. Don't just throw docs at her. Kevin looks at me. Tired eyes. Stella, the documentation is the job. I read it. The other guys read it. If she can't pass technical docs, she can't touch the code base. It's spaghetti code from 2018. It's not friendly. Make it friendly, I snap. I can't rewrite the entire stack to be friendly in a week. Week 2. Maria pushes code. Production goes down. For 4 hours. Customers calling support screaming. David runs past my office, pale as a sheet. Who approved the merge? He screams. Maria did, someone says. Why didn't it go through code review? She said Stella told her code review was a form of gatekeeping, so she bypassed the check. Oh God. I didn't say that exactly. I said trust your instincts and don't let them slow you down. David fixes the bug. He storms into the CEO's office. Door slam. I sit at my desk staring at my plant. My phone buzzes. It's a notification from Athena. I left it running on a loop, trying to find hidden gems in the rejected pile. It sends me a notification. Unconscious bias detected in filtering logic. Curious. I open the terminal. Athena has been analyzing my interventions. It has a little report. User, Stella, consistently downgrades candidates with high technical obsession markers. Correlation analysis. High technical obsession correlates 0.89 with male gender marker. Correlation analysis. High technical obsession correlates 0.92 with high performance in historical data. Conclusion. User is filtering out high performers to achieve demographic balance. Warning. This strategy will result in a 40% reduction in team velocity. The AI is calling me out. It's telling me, in cold hard math, that my diversity strategy is literally an anti-competence strategy. Not because women aren't competent, but because the specific subset of humans who are willing to destroy their bodies and minds for this specific job happen to be men. And looking for balance means looking for people who aren't that obsessive. But we need the obsession. I feel a knot in my stomach. I delete the report. Can't let anyone see that. The next day, there's an all-hands meeting. CEO looks grim. We are restructuring the engineering department. My heart leaps. Finally, he's firing the toxic leads. We're rolling back the Project Equity Hiring Initiative effective immediately. Room goes dead silent. We have lost 2 major clients due to the outage last week. Our velocity has dropped 30%. We need to focus on stability. David is taking full control of hiring again. The engineers don't cheer. That would be too social. But you can feel the tension leave the room. Shoulders drop, hoodies go up. Back to normal. I am called into a meeting afterwards. HR VP is there. Stella, we appreciate your passion. The kiss of death phrase, but we feel your talents are better suited for internal engagement. You're demoting me? We're pivoting you. No more hiring authority. You'll run the mentorship programs and the holiday party. I want to argue. I want to scream about patriarchy. But I think about the outage. I think about Cassie crying because she couldn't read the docs. I think about Athena's cold, hard report. I thought I was fixing the system. I thought I was saving those women, but I just threw them into a meat grinder they weren't equipped for, just to pad my stats. I nod. Okay. I walk back to my desk to pack up my hiring files. I see the server room glass wall. Ben and Jacob are in there, eating cold pizza, debugging something on a monitor, laughing at a joke. They look happy. They look competent. They look fine. I realized I didn't want to fix the culture because it was broken. I wanted to fix it because I didn't fit in, and instead of accepting that, I tried to burn it down. I closed the Athena terminal window, one last prompt flashes. Process terminated. Optimization failed. I go to the break room. I sit in my beanbag chair, alone. I open LinkedIn, open to work, but maybe this time, I'll stick to non-tech companies, places where empathy actually ships the product. Because here, the code doesn't care how nice you are. It only cares if you're right, and I was wrong. Be me, again. Few months later, still at the company, party planner role. Christmas party is coming up. I book a DJ, expensive catering, open bar, try to make it a networking gala, mandatory attendance. Engineers show up, grab free food, retreat to corners, DJ plays top 40 hits. Dance floor is empty except for the sales team. I see David in the corner. He's talking to the guys I tried to fire. They're animated, laughing, drawing on napkins. I walk past, overhear them, so if we refactor the microservice to use Go, we can cut latency by 5 ms. Dude, yes. And then we can deprecate the legacy SQL wrapper. They aren't talking about sports, or women, or politics. They are talking about work at the party. Because they love it. Because it's not just a job to them. It's their identity. Cassie quit, by the way, went back to teaching, sent me an email saying she's happier. Maria was let go. Sam is still here but moved to customer success, doing great there. I realized Project Equity was trying to force people who value life into a room with people who value code, and getting mad when the code addicts won. I look at the AI code on my laptop one last time before deleting the repo. The bias wasn't hatred, it was a preference for men who suffer for the machine. I close the lid, sip my overpriced gin and tonic, watch the nerds draw architecture diagrams on cocktail napkins. I'll never understand them, but at least the server won't have downtimes.